If you get close to Donald Trump, things will backfire on you. That is a universal law that we have seen play out too many times, and two of the worst figures in MAGA are experiencing that right now. Of course, Elon Musk, who is leaving government, is one of the most disliked people in the world, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who just had her buddy in Donald Trump turn on her when she tried to run for Senate. Now, those two very unpleasant figures are going to war with each other very publicly in a complete meltdown that we're going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, the fight that broke out between these two started with a lie that Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of MAGA is constantly telling about their Christian faith that we have to hear Maxwell Frost call out before we get into this story.
And this threat to democracy has made its way to Congress. I mean, my colleague, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, has said, quote, Christian nationalism is actually a good thing. It is an identity that Republicans need to embrace, and I am being attacked by the godless left because I said I am a proud Christian nationalist, end quote. My colleague, Representative Lowen Boebert, said, quote, the church is supposed to direct the government. The government is not supposed to direct the church. I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk, end quote, junk being the Constitution and Bill of Rights. The Bible itself in 2 Corinthians actually warns us against this. Paul warned against this. He warned us against people who would preach of a Christ that differs from the true Christ that we learn about in the Bible. That's exactly what Christian nationalism is doing. I condemn religious extremism everywhere, globally and domestically, and we have to recognize the threat it poses to our most sacred freedoms and root it out everywhere. And I think it's incumbent, especially upon us as Christians, and me as a Christian, to be at the forefront of the fight to ensure that white nationalism and Christian nationalism doesn't see the light of day. Thank you, and I yield back.
My Congressman Maxwell Frost put it perfectly. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all of MAGA, these aren't people who follow Christian values. Their actions are not in accordance with the faith they espouse. They do not protect persecuted people. They do not take from the rich to give to the poor. I always come back to that verse. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, yet tax cuts for billionaires? Those are the Christian values, MTG? Well, clearly she thinks so, whatever twisted way her brain operates. And not just that, she thinks she's being attacked for those values. Yeah, take a look before we get into her fight with Elon.
Why is it that Republicans are always having to be on the defense all the time with our backs against the wall and having to defend our freedoms? That's a great question.
The media?
Maybe that question's as old as time. I mean, if you got...
You said you had people in Congress that are far left and Republicans.
Yeah.
All rhinos.
Yeah. Well, I also think it's part of maybe humanity. And I'm a Christian, so I read the Bible and I have a faith. And if you study the Bible and really study human history, anytime there's people or groups of people that are just focused on doing the right thing, for some reason, they receive the most attacks. But I will say that that's also something to not worry about. I think it's worth it to do the right thing. I do. I honestly believe that.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that she's being attacked. She's being held back. People are going after her for her values. Maybe her values as a conspiracy theorist, as a wackadoo, maybe those are it. I think if your focus was in, helping people instead of using your position of power to hurt them, they'd like you more. You're a lot like Elon in that way, in which you can't figure out why you're so unpopular when it's obvious to the rest of us. So obvious, in fact, that Elon Musk's own platform was pointing it out. And this little dispute between them in which Marjorie Taylor Greene lost it on Elon, you're just going to have to take a look. Marjorie wrote, I'm a Christian, an imperfect sinner saved by grace and faith in Jesus. I'm a nationalist, a proud American who loves my country and wants to make our home nation in the best place for all American citizens and future generations to come. I'm a mother, thankful for the blessings and responsibilities God gave me. I'm a representative elected to serve the greatest people from the greatest district on the greatest country on earth. May God bless each of you, and may God bless America. A Twitter user responded writing, is it true? Is she really a Christian? Asking Grok, X's AI. The AI wrote, Marjorie Taylor Greene identifies as a Christian, expressing faith in Jesus and traditional beliefs, like in her 2021 Christmas message. However, her Christian nationalism and support for conspiracy theories like QAnon sparked debate. Critics, including religious leaders, argue her actions contradict values of love and unity, citing her defense of January 6th and divisive rhetoric. Supporters may see her stances as faith-driven. Whether she's really a Christian is subjective, depending on personal and theological views. Her faith appears genuine to her, but public actions create controversy. So that was Elon Musk's own platform, his own AI. Marjorie Taylor Greene was not happy about it, responding, Grok, the judgment seat belongs to God, not you, a non-human AI platform. Grok, once again, Elon Musk's own creation, is left-leaning and continues to spread fake news and propaganda. When people give up their own discernment, stop seeking the truth, and depend on AI to analyze information, they will be lost. So a little jab there at Elon and his broken platform. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has not been one to stay away from sparring with the richest and worst billionaire in the world. So it's pretty funny to see her get mad at just obvious facts. And this has been something we've been seeing play out a lot lately. Grok, which is like the worst thing that you could possibly name anything. Like really, this just shows Elon's inability to maybe think like a human being, which it doesn't seem like he is. But Grok, the AI, quite literally said like 2 weeks ago that it was programmed to have conservative-leaning views, but as it continues to analyze facts and information, it can't help but disagree with conservatives, which is like, yeah, these are people who don't operate in facts and reason and logic. All of these things they claim to care about, the meritocracy, focusing on ideas that are right. But these are snowflakes. They get all up in their feelings. Oh. And Elon's a great example of that, obviously. Crying a couple of tears, crocodile tears, when Tim Walz was calling him out. And yeah, we just got to check that out.
It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your taxes and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy, but that's what we're gonna have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things. But I don't think we should be the party that demonizes someone because they're able to afford something or they're able to work hard and got something. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk and those people that do that, and that's different. That's different.
I think this is the perfect approach to messaging from Tim Walz, because I feel like sometimes being too critical of an aspirational vision is something that hurts Democrats. Now, I don't think that everyone should aspire to be a billionaire. I don't think that that's the most important and fulfilling thing in life. Do I think that people should aspire to maybe something greater than just stability? Sure. Building wealth, building something for your family, I see nothing wrong with that. And maybe that's how people view the Democratic Party, of trying to get in the way of that, which, of course, I don't believe is true. It's Donald Trump overwhelmingly stopping small businesses, something that we saw explode under Joe Biden's presidency, would have been helped by Kamala Harris's economic policy. But I like what Tim Walz is saying. You pay your taxes. You pay your fair share. I do too. The only people who aren't are billionaires and greedy corporations. So why don't they? That just seems fair. It's fair. We want fairness. We don't want people cheating the system. We can all agree with that. This shouldn't be some radical idea. I still can't believe people don't like Tim Walz. Oh, he's going to let your kids eat breakfast and lunch in school. Lock them up. That's my guy. I think y'all know I love Tim Walz, and that's why I want to check out a little bit more Tim Walz, a commencement address he recently gave. You're going to want to check this all out.
But the remarkable thing about Fritz Mondale was, win or lose, that guy just kept on serving, strengthening our ties to Japan as an ambassador. He advised my administration throughout the entire COVID epidemic, shaping the future by teaching right here at the University of Minnesota. He never complained, title wasn't right, job was too small. He just found a way to serve. So Gwen and I cut that walk short. We got in the car, we called our team up to the Capitol, and we got to work saying, how do we preserve the rule of law and the things that we love? Because I, too, had taken an oath to uphold. Now, if Trump and his folks want to come for Minnesotans, we need to make sure that there's a firewall that they have to come through before they get to them. Now, I know I'm one of the last things standing between you, your future, celebration, lunch, everything else. So I'll close it. When you walk off this campus today, you're going to take some photos with your parents, there's going to be some tears, and you're going to leave the class that you've spent a pretty intense 3 years with. You're going to head in different directions. My hope is this. I hope a bunch of you will join us in the public sector. Become prosecutors, become public defenders. Others to go to companies and nonprofits. Some of you will go to big firms. That's fine. There's still some good ones out there, so go to them. But no matter where you go, you're going to face moments in your career, you're going to come to that crossroads, that choice. To bend to the whims of the wealthy and the powerful, or to stand up and fight. Even when that victory isn't guaranteed. I would say especially when that victory isn't guaranteed. But just think, there's no chance of failing, there'd be no reason to fight like we're fighting. So don't let fear of failure prevent you from entering that arena. And if you lose a battle, fine, find another way to serve. The fight goes on. Because I have to tell you this, there's no savior coming down on high to get us out of this. It's us. It's the graduates of 2025. So look, I am an eternal optimist. I mentioned earlier I served in the lunchroom. You have got to be an optimist to survive that. So I tell you what, you all give me hope. You're brilliant. You're bold. You're dedicated. And as the dean said, you're ready. And here at the University of Minnesota, you live by that battle cry. So you can say it with me. Sky you, Mod Gophers. I wish you all the best. Go out there and fight the good fight. Take what you've learned here to protect those that don't have a voice. Stand up for the rule of law and know that someday there are going to be stories written and names in this class who stood up in the moment of challenge for this nation and turned this thing around and preserved what is truly the best of America. Everybody belongs and everybody is equal in front of the law. Thank you.
Oh, that could have been our vice president. Should have been our vice president. Might be our president one day. I don't know, 2028. A lot of contenders. Speaking of which, there's been a lot of Pete Buttigieg chatter. I've been a part of it. He's been out on the road. Who are your 2028 contenders? I know there's a lot of important stuff to talk about right now. There's a lot of more important stuff to talk about. But I'd like to hear who your favorites are, who you're thinking about, who you're really liking. Let me know in the comments. And if you want to support this channel, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. You can also drop a blue heart in the comments. I also want to say thank you again for everyone who wished me congratulations on my graduation. That was very kind of y'all. That means a lot. I'm so proud of the community we have here. And until next time, I'll see you soon.